Hi everyone, it's me Darlene. I am back with an easy crochet pattern. I have been playing around with different things and I came up with something like this quite a long time ago and then just forgot about it. And during my recent trip on the plane, I crocheted and I came up with it again, and I am going to show it to you now. I have two different ways to do this in this tutorial, using double crochet or using trebles. And what it is it's like two Afghans back to back. Both sides are the right side. You see the right side of the stitches. And if you see on the side here, look, I could stick my finger right through. So see, there's an Afghan happening on this side and there's an Afghan happening on that side. And we join with rows of single crochet. I'm going to be showing it to you without any color changes. I am working on some cool ways to do color changes on this, but I'm not done playing with that yet, so I'm going to just show you with one color. You are free to change colors as you wish and play with it yourself, and I'm sure you'll come up with a good way to do it. Before we start, I'm always asked how much yarn would I need to make a twin size Afghan or whatever size. What you do is you make yourself a swatch and you weigh it, and then you figure out like how many of those it would take to make the size Afghan you want. Doesn't mean you have to sew them together, but you weigh it. You figure out how many of those would fit into the finished piece, and you just multiply that number by the weight, and then you always get a little bit more, you know, just so you have some extra. So that's how you can figure it out. And I have already been asked, is this good for a weighted blanket? I don't know how heavy it would be because I've never made more than what you're seeing right here or smaller pieces when I was practicing with it a while back. So again, make a piece, weigh it, see how much it weighs, figure out how much the whole blanket would weigh by just doing some simple math, and you'll know. But you know, it's definitely soft and softer if you do the treble. So let's talk about that for a second. This is a single crochet foundation row, and there's a single crochet row up here ending. These two rows are double crochet. They're soft, flexible, not as soft and flexible as the treble, but these are closer together. See, it's kind of, you know, hard to put your finger through that, but here, you know, you got peekaboo going on all over the place. So it all depends. I'm going to show you guys the double crochet. I have a feeling that's what you'd be more interested in and not something this lacy. But if you want a nice lacy Afghan that is very soft, then you might want to do treble. I will show you how to do the treble stitch, and you know, it's very easy to do. You would just do what I'm doing with double crochet, only you would be doing trebles all the time. And now, for real, let's get started. I'm going to make a very small piece for the sake of this tutorial. You can make this chain any length you want. Odd, even, multiple of whatever, doesn't matter. You just make it whatever length you want. I chained 9. I'm going to work 8 stitches. And I happen to be using a size 10.5 or K hook and just your regular typical 4-ply yarn, usually Red Heart brand or something similar. You use whatever you want. And before asking me, can I use this size yarn and this size hook, go ahead and try it. Go ahead and try it, and then you'll know the answer. You'll get your answer quicker than if you ask me. And if you ask me and I do answer, I'm going to tell you, go ahead and try it. Because I might not have what you are asking about, and I'm not going to go out and buy supplies so I can do your testing. You can do your own. That's how you learn. Okay, so we're going to start the first row with single crochet all the way across. If you need any basic instructions on, you know, making the chain, the starting with the slip knot and single crochet, I will have a video in the description below and on the end screen and also in the pinned comment. So I'm going to have 8 single crochet. At the end of the single crochet, I'm going to be doing the double crochet blanket like I showed you. So I'm going to be chaining 2. If you were doing treble, you would chain 3. And now I'm just going to turn and I'm going to do a double crochet on just this front side of the V. See our V? Let's get this out. See our V right here? I'm just going to work this one, and I'm going in this direction. First, let me show you if you were doing treble. This is what you would do. You would have chained 3 at the end. 1, 2, 3. You would yarn over twice. You would go in, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's your treble, and you would just do that again. You would yarn over twice, go in, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2, through 2. So that's what you would do if you're using the treble stitch for the more lacy. But I'm not. I'm going to do double crochet, and we only need to chain 2. Treble, you chain 3. I only yarn over once, and I'm going in this guy, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over once, go in, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And I'm just going to do that all the way across. And here's my last one. Pulling some yarn out here. Now, instead of chaining 2, I'm going to just chain 1. You're pretty much always chaining 1 at the end of a row, except for at the end of the single crochet row, and that will make a little bit more sense in a minute. Now we're going to turn. Let's go back here for a second. When we worked in just this side of the V, this is the other side of the V that we didn't use. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? We're going to use that side now. So now we're going to make the other side of this row. So you're going to yarn over. Now look here. See where this stitch is? There's the V line right there. You can see it's like a line all the way across. So you just make sure you get that first one, and always make sure you get your last one. And if you have a hard time with that, when you make your first stitch, you can always mark it, and then you'll know where to go. So I'm doing the double crochet, so I'm yarning over once, and I'm going down to this line, and the first one can be a little tricky. I'm going in it, going to yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Actually, the whole first row can be a little bit tricky because you don't have much to hang on to. Yarn over, go into the next line right here, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. If you were doing a treble, you'd be yarning over twice, and you'd be going under, and you'd be, you know, pulling through, what is it, 3 times? So just play with it. You'll get the hang of it. Okay, another double crochet. Now what I do is, as it gets bigger, I just kind of fold this. So my lines are all there, all nice and pretty. And whoops, and it's easy to just find them and to work your double crochet or treble if you're using a treble. Whoops, through 2 and 2. And you just do that all the way across right to that one. And that should be my last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is. Now we're going to do a single crochet to join these 2 sides of the Afghan. See how you have 2 sides? You have this side and this side. And it is possible to make, you know, like one side solid and the other side striped, which is really cool, which is what I'm working on showing you. So if I ever get that, I will show that to you. Now we are going to chain 1 and turn. Now you want to make sure you get your first stitch. Let's see, this is my chain 1 back here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mine is always going to be down a little bit like that. make a practice piece, a small piece, and practice, and then you'll learn what the stitches look like. And then if you make a full-size Afghan, you'll know what you're looking for. So now we're going to join with single crochet, and for the joining row, we're going to work on the inside of the V, on each side. So let's go here. See the 2 rows of V's? One's going in this direction, one's going in that direction. Well, we're going to want the inner strand, and on this side also the inner strand, and it's just going to leave a nice little ridge on the outside, and it makes it not as stiff. So for this first stitch, it's right here, and then for this stitch it's right here, and I'm just going to do a crochet. Whoops, stay on. Okay, there and there. And again, once you do this a little bit, it becomes very easy to know exactly where you need to go. So this is our single crochet row, and we've got this guy, and those 2 last ones can be a little bit harder to identify, but I see that little V right there, so I'm going here and in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I did it the right way. Now I'm going to chain 2. At the end of your single crochet row, your connecting row like we just did, that's the only time you chain more than 1. All the other rows you're going to chain 1 at the end. But for this one you're going to chain 2 if you're doing double crochet. You're going to chain 3 if you're doing the treble. Turn. And now we're going to do our 2 rows like we did. Well, I shouldn't say 2 rows, our 2 sides. This is actually 1 row, but it's double-sided. So we're going to yarn over, and we're going to work just on this side and do our double crochet or treble if you're doing a treble. And then that's when we're leaving that other line for us for on the return. So I'm just going to do double crochets all the way across. I also tried this, just using all single crochet, and it's pretty stiff. I mean, I like an Afghan that bends. It's not that stiff. Go ahead and try it with your yarn or your hook or whatever. You might love it, and you could do it that way too if you wanted to. So I'm done that double crochet. I just chain 1, always chaining 1 except for at the very end of that single crochet joining row. Now I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to go look for my line of, like, I'm going to call them the vertical bars. Now don't get confused with this one. This is below. There's one here. Just look at where your stitches are connected. Here's your double crochets that you just did. Each one of those will have a vertical bar directly below it. Directly below it. Not this guy, but here. This one can be harder to spot, the first one and the last one, but it's right here. Find this one first and then just move over and you'll get it. So I'm going to do a double crochet, and remember, you would have chained 3 here and you would work a treble, but I'm doing double crochet, so I just yarn over once and I'm going in that guy, and it, like I said, the first ones are a little bit tricky. Yarn over, and now I'm going to this one next to it, and this is where I fold and I hold, and it makes it very, very easy. So we're just going to finish this row, and we'll do the single crochet row together again, and we'll be done. Oops, get. Okay, single crochet and turn. Now we're already there. We can join these 2 together. And just, I'm going to double check again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so see, it's not this guy way down here. It's this one right here. And you're just going to use the inner strands of the V's. You could go under all of them if you want. Like if you wanted to go under the entire V and under the entire V, you could. It's just going to make the Afghan a little bit stiffer. So there and there. I'm working the inners. There and there. And it always is easier going across. It's just the first and last stitch that can be a little bit harder to recognize and to work. Gotta pull some more yarn. Anybody want a yarn pulling job? Okay, almost done. So fun to crochet with a camera between my eyeballs and my hands. Right there. And you would just tie off at that point. You start with a single crochet as your foundation row and you end with a single crochet. And in this case, because we're working both sides, your starting and ending tails will be both on the same side. And that's it, identical front and back, except the single crochet row is, you know, you're looking at the back side of that, but when you add another row, see, it gets hidden. There's our single crochet row in there. So you're really only seeing the double crochets and the double crochets, and those are face front on both sides. Very thick and spongy. So give it a try. Just make a little piece like this and see if you like it. Do remember though, a very small piece is never going to be as soft as a big piece. And of course, you know, the more expensive yarn you buy, the softer it can be. But, you know, usually Red Heart is pretty good. I like to make things with inexpensive yarn so that I know if you're using, you know, the Red Heart or whatever your store brand is, you know, you don't need to go broke making an Afghan. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will try to come up with this double-sided with multiple colors for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!